Limited, a group of brothers who have come together to impact the society as well as their families. We'll hear more about H&H in a moment as the program starts. The topic of today's engagement, we have two distinguished speakers. We are parading two speakers of repute in terms of quality of, they are well qualified for the conversations today, inshallah. We ask Allah Azawajal to make their delivery easy one for them. Our topic today is empowering Muslim families and youth in a globalized world, navigating the modern challenges. We all know that we have a lot of challenges these days in the modern world. How does a Muslim family navigate through these challenges and is empowered to make the best of here as well as the hereafter by Allah's mercy? And that is the focus of the sessions today. We have two speakers that I've mentioned. First of all, we have a lecture that will talk about from distractions to destruction, the struggle of a modern Muslim youth and interventions for the parents. This program is essentially for parents as well as the younger ones, our children. I've seen some of our children who are part of this program as well. They are also encouraged. They are welcome to listen to this lecture from our reputable speakers. The second topic from our lecturer is building a harmonious home in a contemporary globalized world, issues and options for success. And as Muslims, we know what success means. Our success essentially succeeding in the world, in the hereafter, but not, of course, not jeopardizing our world here. As Allah has mentioned, that we can have the best of this world and we have the best of the hereafter. So as Muslims, we can combine the two according to what the Prophet ﷺ has demonstrated for us. So inshallah, would have a very good time with our speakers today. We ask Allah to make it easy for them. Without wasting much time, I will just call on one of our directors in H&H. Not just one of our directors, essentially our chairman in Here and Hereafter Investment Company Limited, in person of Alhaji Abdulrazak Ashaju, to give us welcome remarks as well as to introduce who is H&H and what does H&H do. Alhaji Ashaju, are you ready to go?
Yeah, inshallah.
Please go ahead. Are you there? Okay.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
You can go ahead. Is your mic working?
It's working. I'll start in a moment. Yeah, Jazakallah Khairan, Alhaji Said Bashir. Once again, we welcome our guests, especially the guest speakers, for honoring us. May Allah also honor you. Let me quickly run through this. We have a couple of invitees that have requested that this here and hereafter, they want to know more about it. They want to know what we do. So we have to put this together. I know data costs a lot of money, but I'll quickly run through, inshallah. Please indulge me 5 minutes to be able to address the audience. I have to put on my own slide because this slide is not showing mine properly. So, A'udhu billahi samina alim shaitan rajim, bismillahir rahmanir rahim. All praise is due to Almighty Allah, the Lord of the world, the beneficent, the merciful. May the blessings of Allah be on our leader, the seal of all prophet, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, his household, his companions, and all Muslims to the day of Qiyamah. Brothers and sisters, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I hope I'm audible.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa
Wa
barakatuh.
alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
I wish to welcome you all to today's edition of our regular training program, brought to you by Challenge Investment. The training series aims at improving our members, our families, and our Ummah. Here and Hereafter Investment Club is a member of the TIDCL Group, an association of Muslim investments across the country that seek to secure our pathway by investing in ethical businesses and
Sorry, Alhaji Ashaju, sorry. Can the host please mute everybody? We have interference into the program. Can we mute everybody, please? Okay, please go ahead, Alhaji Ashaju. Muhammad Hamad, could you please mute your speaker?
Thank you.
Muhammad Hamad. Yeah, please go ahead.
We effectively kicked off in February 2008, and we are presently composed of 19 members. So our vision is to be a reference point in ethical wealth creation, management, and sustenance, while our mission is to create an enduring wealth by utilizing our diverse professional expertise, while pleasing our Creator and impacting positively on our families, Islam, and the entire humanity through investment in halal businesses. So like I told you, we are 19. We have brother Ibrahim Fashola is with 9 Mobile. Taufik Babalala is with MTN. Abdulwasi Otukoya is also with MTN. Afolabi Otufora, who is one of the leading organizers for today's event, is with Globalcom. Brother Said Bashir, that has been speaking with you, is of Meristem Securities. Abdulwahid Bolanle Aziz is with Bolamark Engineering. Abatai Hashimi is with Pan-African Capital Holdings. Alhaji Nofi Olushola is with Technovatives Limited. Kamadin Shonibare is with International Technologies. Arogbada Amu Abgafar is with Globalcom. Aleshin Lawyer Abrahim is a lawyer and is with Aleshin Lawyer and Associates. Afatai Raji is with Hendricks Regional Head in Indiana, US. Ablamid Olono is with Lasako Assurance, and Dr. Imran Ablatif is with Bishland Hospitals. Basa Nasru Salah is of Nasru Salah & Co. Ustaz Arun Thani, I know many of you here will know him. He's a businessman and Islamic scholar in the UK. Brafiu Adewale Adeyemo is with Globalcom. Brad Lukman Otukoya is of CSC Technologies Limited, and my humble self, Abrazak Ashaju, and with Globalcom Nigeria. So our training activities, in addition to doing business, we also embark on learning, training, and retraining ourselves, as dictated by the Holy Prophet ﷺ, that we should seek knowledge from the cradle to the grave. This we do by alternating between spiritual and material knowledge, and in striving for the best here and in the hereafter. So we also use this program as our own little way of positively impacting the Ummah and giving back to our society. To this end, we have had 17 trainings with renowned professionals and Islamic scholars. I won't run through this, but some of our past scholars, our regular attendees will know. We have Sheikh Faisal, we have Ustaz Iqlal Shafi, we have Brother Taufik Kagbaje, currently in the UK, Imam Sayi. Some of these lectures are available on our YouTube. They could be visited. The late Brother Mudathir Olani Sanud, may Allah be pleased with him, was one of our past lecturers. Sheikh Imran Abmajid Elenka was one of them. Our brother Ni Yusuf of Beraki Partners was one of our past lecturers. Ustaz Tirmidhi Jamil was one of them. Alhaji Fatai Amao, who is one of the founding fathers of the TIDCL group, to which we belong, has also come to talk to us. Imam was once our lecturer. Dr. Jubril Salaudin was once with us. And our esteemed brother, Blakim Oyewale, was with us. Alhaji MD Abubakar, the owner of L&Z Yogurt in Kano, was with us. We also had Professor Ablakim Yusuf in the UK, who spoke on inheritance with us. The last one we did before today's lecture was on emerging opportunities within the Nigeria agro-commodity space that was addressed by a Christian brother. So it was also very eventful. So today's lecture with the theme, Empowering Muslim Families and Youth in a Globalized World, Navigating Modern Challenges, is a contemporary and germane issue affecting Muslim parents and their children. The world had been predicted to become a global village by Mark McLuhan since 1964, that's 60 years ago. But it is now that the concept is staring us in the face. The rapid technological advances and COVID-19 colluded with the theory to manifest the entire world in everybody's table or palms. As you are sitting down there with your laptop or you are holding your phone, you can navigate the entire world without even So it is no longer a misnomer for husband and wife to be in the room side by side, and rather than discuss and exchange ideas, each is busy with their phones, laughing crazily with gadgets. Or a child neglecting the parents and asking AI apps like ChatGPT how he will order his life or choose his career or choose his partner. Our children even play football among foreign teammates online without sweating. So that is how far the world has gone and is going as a global village. These modern realities, but dangerous trends, have destroyed homes and lives. We were recently confronted with the story of a 14-year-old who refused listening to his parents and became withdrawn from reality and falling in love with AI chatbot named Danny. He eventually shot himself after he and his darling Danny agreed that he should come home to join his love. The Danny, the robot, is the love, and he had to shoot himself to go and join him wherever that Danny is. So we have to take charge as Muslims. So this is only one instance of how modernity and technology are shaping, in brackets, our lives, including Muslim lives. Many homes have been disintegrated and destroyed by this globalization and modernity. As frustration sets in when families, rather than interact in front and frolic with one another, seek joy in the escapist gadgets and artificialities. To address these knotty issues, we have invited two experienced and highly competent teachers to examine the issues, counsel, and rightly direct our affairs and psyche. Hajiya Suruurah Ogunfemi is current certified engineer and a graduate of the prestigious University of Lagos. Great acolyte. With 20 years in the public sector, rising to the directorate rank, she has reinvented and carved a niche for herself in the practice of family life engineering and behavioral therapy. She's a renowned author on children and family matters and affairs, and she's a successful wife and mother. That is the critical thing. When my daughter was going to the university, I had to call her, young lady, I'm not after you becoming a medical doctor more than that. Your first priority is home. You must not become a doctor and become a failed mother. May Allah help all of us. Hajiya Suruurah Ogunfemi will be speaking on From Distraction to Destruction, the struggles of the modern youth and interventions for parents. On the other hand, our esteemed Imam, Dr. Ridwanullah Kayode Jamiu, is a barrister and solicitor of the Supreme Court. He's a Hafidul Quran, marriage counselor, and consultant on Islamic finance and inheritance, among others. A reputable author of many books on Islam, Dr. Ridwan Jamiu is the current Imam of the reputable Lekki Central Mosque, Lagos. Our Imam will address the topic, Building Harmonious Homes in Contemporary Globalized World, Issues and Options for Success. I urge you to please mute your devices and remain attentive to get the best of today's sessions. Inshallah, this lecture will be recorded and will be made available to interested participants for reference. Just give your email to your host and you should have it, inshallah. I wish to thank our invitees for honoring us. We urge Muslims to establish more investment clubs. That is what we do. We and other existing clubs will, inshallah, be ready to mentor you. May Allah make today's training and lessons land favorable hujjah for us on the day of accountability. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thank you for listening.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi
Wa
wa barakatuh.
rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that beautiful rendition. We'll start the program. We'll start our first lecture now. I'll call on one of us in H&H, Hajiya Adeshola Arogbadamu Abdulgafar, to briefly introduce our first speaker, Sister Suruurah.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Okay, Chairman has said data is very expensive, so I will not waste much time. I'll go straight to the task I've been given. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Hajiya Suruurah Olayinka Ogunfemi graduated from Unilag with a BSc Upper Division in Civil Engineering and is registered as a corporate member with the Nigerian Society of Engineers and a COREN, that is a Council for Regulation of Engineering in Nigeria. With 20 years in the public sector, rising to the directorate rank, Abdullah has reinvented and carved a niche for herself in the practice of family life engineering and behavioral therapy. I don't know, moderator, would the host probably share this profile on the group or I mean on Zoom, or I should do that?
Just go ahead. We'll address that subsequently, yes.
Okay. She bagged professional qualifications in human systems and certified as a master NLP practitioner, trained social sector manager, emotional intelligence and anger management coach, certified results coach, mental health, first aid, MHFA practitioner, and a purpose and potential discovery specialist. A lover for learning, she is. Making an impact, traveling and meeting people. Hajiya Suruurah consults and facilitates trainings and workshops for individuals, families, schools, and other groups on influencing behavioral change that foster harmony, well-being, and stronger relationships through process development or direct personnel interventions and solutions.
You can mute unmute yourself, Raja Roberta.
Okay. I don't know where or when I was muted. Maybe I should just go back a bit. Alaja Ogunfemi bagged professional qualifications in human systems and certified as a master NLP practitioner, trained social sector manager, emotional intelligence and anger management coach, certified results coach, mental health first aid practitioner, and a purpose and potential discovery specialist. She is a lover for learning, making impact, traveling, and meeting people. Hajiya Suruurah consults and facilitates trainings and workshops for individuals, families, schools, and other groups on influencing behavioral change that foster harmony, well-being, and stronger relationships through process development or direct personnel interventions and solutions. She is very passionate about the production unit of society, families, and teaches parents skills and strategies that create more connection and cooperation with while providing accountability that supports the integration of these new skills in transforming the lives of their kids. Alhaja Ogunfemi's approach helps parents overcome mindset blocks, unlearn unhealthy patterns, and start simple, fast daily practices that lead them to raise children who are whole and thrive in healthy, trauma-free family lives. Alhaja Olayinka Ogunfemi is the author of How to Raise Better Behaved Children. She also authored Creator, Parental Influence Mastery. She is the director at the Guided Beginning School and Islamia in Abuja. She is the convener and lead coach at Parents First Academy, and she is the creative host of Discoveryville and Quran Village holiday programs. She is happily married to our greatest cheerleader, Alhaji Dawood Adewale Sulaiman, and they are blessed with 3 great sons and 3 awesome daughters. These, as clocked, are extensive on the job as a chauffeur, negotiator, short order cook, scheduler extraordinary, validator par excellence, amongst other skills. She currently resides in Abuja, Nigeria, and has worked with families in almost all the continents. Actually, when I met her at the airport on Thursday night, I started wondering if this program was going to be physical. I thought she had arrived for the program. You can follow her on Instagram and Facebook at Guided Beginnings. With Alhaja Suruurah, you are sure to go from burnout to brilliant in your daily living. Brothers and sisters in Islam, I present to you Alhaja Suruurah Olayinka Ogunfemi. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thank you so much for that wonderful introduction of our guest, one of our guest speakers today, Hajiya Suruurah Ogunfemi. So over to you.
That this account for each and every one of us on this call, and everything we'll share will.
Hello, Hajiya.
So yes,
you can share your video, please.
Yes, if
it's
you don't,
not allowing me to do that. It's showing on every access.
It's enabled now, I guess.
Enabled, so that
allow.
It's enabled now. Yes.
Okay, in a
Any luck?
It's telling me that to access the account from the device. Okay, now I need to go to my device. Give me a moment, please.
Okay.
Hear me and see me.
Yes,
okay.
yes. Clear,
Okay.
clear. Yes,
Awesome.
please go ahead.
Mashallah. So, assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi once again. And
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullah.
Today we're going to talking about from the distraction to destruction. And that's a very, very instructive topic that almost covers everything that has to do with parenting our generation next. And we're talking about the struggle the Muslim children of today faces and the intervention for us parents. And by way of making this a bit interactive, I'd like us to put in the chart what are some of those struggles that we have seen that are prevalent in the culture we have today, in that environment where we're raising our children? What are those things that are peculiar to this set of children we're raising today? Okay, so while I'm waiting for, okay, thank you. Nima said overexposure to social media. Yes, thank you. And of course, that is expected. And that's because these children were raising today are the digital natives, right? They literally came to the world with a device in their hand. And even long before they demanded those devices from us, we are the ones that have actually taken the lead to hand them these devices. Yes, I'm seeing distractions, self-will and peer pressure, distractions and all of those things. So yeah, we know all of the things that are distracting our children. There is a lot of digital overload. Like I said, they're the digital natives born with the device in their hands, and we are the first set of parents to actually figure that out. So this is a new terrain in child upbringing, one that no other generation of parents have actually been exposed to. And that's why we need to be informed, we need to be educated, we need to upscale our knowledge so that we are not using the strategy of yesteryears to parent the children who this planet has never seen their kind. Of course, I'm not talking about the biological makeup because, of course, we know that that hasn't changed. However, when it comes to the access they have, that word internet has come to change the terrain. Now, in our own time when we're growing up, what was prevalent is that when your child is within the four walls of your home, you can be sure that that child is there and there are no external influences, right, that that child will have access to. But hey, in the world we're living today, a child can be sitting right next to you and is conversing the values of people that are thousands of miles away, who he has never even seen in life. So that becomes a threat to the values that we are trying to raise them with. That conversations are very important for us to see and talk about. Now, when it comes to all of this, saying that's part of the challenge. And what do I mean? Like I said, those children are coming into a world that literally it's wide. It is the internet world, right? Not strategically position ourselves to be a privilege and skilling them up appropriately, we may unknowingly be impediments, we may unknowingly be obstacles to their issues and hindrances to them. And because they are having access to things that are beyond the four walls of our environment, they already probably know that, hey, I'm seeing children the other day with my father or my mom screams out an instruction on me, and she kill me, she won't kill me. Oh my God. I feel that these men have no say or when we feel that salam, when Allah sent him to his people, and of course, we know the story how they rejected the message and how Allah asked them to build the ark, and now He put two of every species of being in the ark, and then Allah instructed him to put his family, and his son refused. When his son refused, and then the flood, the waves were gathering, and he was still calling his son. He said something fundamental. He said, "Oh, my dear son." He used endearing words to try and coerce his son to his side. And his son said something, "Oh, father, never mind. I'm going to climb the mountains and the flood will not reach me." And of course, the rest we know is history. The point I want to reference here is the fact that even when it was a matter of life and death, believe our hero, the prophet of Allah, salam, did not relent in calling his child with wisdom, with beautiful calling, with love and words of endearment. And down that ayah in Surah Uhud, Allah went on to say that, and the Prophet Nuh salam cried when the wave came between him and his son, to the extent that even after, he went ahead to kind of make a case for the son with Allah. And we know that Allah, of course, is not of him at all. Now, Prophet Nuh lived for 950 years. So how many years have we actually spent in the lives of these children that we feel that if they don't do what we want, or if they are lost in this second, then it means that they are lost forever. The reality is that guidance in the hands of Allah. We are custodians, and we must never say never until the waves are down. Now, another thing that these children contend with, as most of us have shared in the comment, let me quickly see the things we have there. Yes, distractions from social media, internet uses, and need to belong, self-will and peer pressure, and influence of social media, distraction, not wanting to do house chores, get rich quick syndrome, not willing to imbibe wisdom from the older generation, lack of awareness by parents to understand the extent of destruction from the social media pressure. Yes. Lack of love from home. Exactly. That's so something we have everything we have shared is so on point. And I'd like to address that digital overload next. Okay. Thank you for putting up the slides. So, yes, here I said kind. Yes, you need to know what kind of parent are you? Are you the authoritarian parent that is either your way or the highway? Are you the permissive parent? Okay, yeah, well, because I don't want to be seen as, too strict, you allow the children what they want to do? Are you the uninvolved parent that you don't even care? You know what? Once you're gone in the morning, is when you come back in the night, and before the children are even awake the following day, you are gone again, and you have successfully outsourced that parenting to your driver, to your house helps, and all of the things that out of the rahmah of Allah has blessed you with. So at the end of the day, you're not available. You are so uninvolved with that parenting. Are you the authoritative one that, yes, you understand that there's a way for dialogue, there's a place for active listening, or in your home, it is alliance-based parenting where, okay, so it is daddy, when they're not that, rather than follow the serial, the example we have the deen of showing kindness, of showing wisdom, it becomes the highway or my way or the highway. And during that process, we further alienate the children from us and the goodness, the richness of Islam, and the children continue to get lost on that path of distraction that may eventually lead to destruction. So what is the temperament of your children? Because even I have a team of 6, right? And I tell you, there is hardly, I can't say all 6 are the same. So we need to understand who our children are. So there is that child that once you say jump, is going to ask how high. There's that child that once you say jump, is going to ask you why. We need to understand that all of these are deliberate because of who Allah has created and hopes to position these children for in their lifetime. The one that asks you why is probably positioned to be in that leadership authority. So he needs to understand the why to be able to lead the flock. The one that complies also has a role. So we need to understand who we are parenting and how they learn, because that would directly influence how we discipline them as well. Then we need to also be willing to build capacity. And that's why I'm so impressed with what our brothers are doing here, because I see that almost everyone on this platform, in this investment group, are our brothers in the deal, right? So which is good. And then this is probably one of the first time I'll see men coming together to want to learn about parenting. What we hear is, okay, it's the mothers. Yeah, mothers are the custodians of the home. And in the same token, it is called parenting, not mothering. Neither is it fathering. Everyone has a role to play in it. In fact, when a father is absent in a home as a result of whatever, it leaves a vacuum. It leaves a vacuum. And the children, even biologically, there is a kind of hormone that by the presence of that father figure in the home, it helps the children, especially the female children, to release. And when that is absent, you see that those kind of children mature faster than their peers. Research has proven this. So we are here to build capacity, and this is a good thing to do. And then goal. So what is our goal as parents? The Prophet said there is no better intelligence than planning. You have to have a goal and then know how you plan towards it. So in as much as the profiles of our brothers, or whether everyone was working was shared, and I'm like, mashallah, everyone is of caliber and timber in this group. So we will attest to the fact that in our organizations, we have visions, we have missions, we have goals, we have objectives, we have core values. My dear brothers and sisters, the same way we treat our businesses in that line, so that whatever the competition is doing, we can stay ahead of competition in our business, is exactly the same thing we need to bring into our home. Because guess what? Parenting job is a marketing role. You need to position yourself such that you can successfully market your values to your children. When you have been able to successfully transfer those values, that is when they will be immune to the distractions out there. Does that mean that they will never make mistakes? Absolutely no. Your children will definitely want to test their values, especially when they reach that age of adolescence. They want to tell, they are individuating. They want to find out who they are outside of you. Because all along, I remember my daughter used to tell me, Mommy, why do you like to dress me so ugly? And when they get to a certain stage, they want to test those values. Now, if you've done a good job pre-adolescent stage, even when they test your values, trying to do what they see, all those things that they've been shadowing. My daughter had probably been seeing people doing this, straight of their hair, blah, blah, and she probably felt, shouldn't I try it? If you've done a good job, even when they test those values, they'll feel like a fish soon outside the water, and they'll come back. However, if it had all been those bars all along, that's when they test the values, they never return. I remember that some while ago, one of my sisters called me. I was like, are you following your son on Instagram? I said, not really, because in my mind, I'm like, oh, I know what I've done now. I shouldn't worry. Like, maybe you should go and check. When I go to his Instagram, what did I see? I saw him sharing, it was his gym experience. It was topless. And I'm like, why is he going nude on social media? I took a screenshot, shared with him, and we had series of conversations to the extent that I had to involve other families, because, hey, he's not here with me in Nigeria, other families there who, and all through the process, one thing my son kept telling me was that, Mommy, if you want me to bring it out, I'm going to bring it out. I said, no, I don't want you to bring it out. You're doing a good thing. It takes a lot of discipline to consistently be Jimmy. So this is good. And that skill that you need, you also need that resilience to continue doing this. You need it in other areas of your life. So I don't want to discourage you. And I don't want you to go and open a fake Instagram account because, hey, my mom is going to see it or anything. And, we kept on having the open conversations. And one thing my line was, would you go topless on the streets? He said no. So why would you do that on the streets of social media? And he was like, hey, Jesus, okay, the way, okay, you're a Muslim child, you know that at least in the minimum, you should cover from your navel down. So why am I saying your navel? And we had these healthy conversations, and because I needed him to arrive at a point where he will own his decision and not that, oh, I'm doing this because it's what my mother said I should do, or because hey, my mother, parenting coach, is our own child. No, children will test our values, and when we come to terms with that, we'll realize that we need to show unconditional love, just as Prophet Jesus has demonstrated to our children. Now, coming to digital overload, right? So, and of course, our children, they are exposed, they have access to the media. They see what's going on. In fact, my son told me then, he showed the one in quote shake that was also gymming and topless. They have access to all of these things. And that's even outside the time he had come and said, Mom, is it okay? I want to plait my hair. And I'm like, where is that one coming from? He said, Mommy, here, it's no big deal. Oh, So the bottom line is that when you're able to create an atmosphere where they can come when they're failing, when they're struggling, when they're pressured, they can come and rub those ideas with you. They are sure that you're not going to lose it or disown them or say hurtful, meaningful things to them. You both will hold yourselves hand in hand and you'll be able to navigate that thing. So you don't want to lose the fight in the moment. Win the fight in the moment and lose the war at the end of the day. So digital overload is obviously some of the things that our children have to contend with. There's obsession with gaming, online addiction, social media obsession, and all of those things. And hey, like I said earlier, before these children ask for these devices, I'm sure if we were to take a poll now of how many people under 18 will say that their children don't have access to an internet-enabled device, I'm sure more than half of us will say that they already have access. So we have given them access long before we had even thought of training them. And that includes me. I remember the time we sat down with our children and we had a kind of digital media plan, making them understand what was going to be accepted. My second son said to me, Mommy, I wish you had told us this before. So before you give your children, it's like no one does what? Gives your child under 18 your keys to your treasured car and then ask him to just take off and go anyway. Even my son that is over 18, when he said, Mommy, you know what? I think in this, my whatever, I want to buy a car. I'm like, I wasn't sure because I'm like, okay, safety rules concern this, that, and all. So it's very important that when we're giving or before we give our children access, we also understand the dangers. We let them know. We make them pledge to what is going to be allowed, what is going to not be allowed. And we don't do this by just strict rules of, okay, this is how you have to do it, or no. No, it's conversational so that they can own the process. One of the I tell my children is this: we don't know how long we're going to stay on this side. So whether you're here or not, your children are going to leave. And one of our dua is that these children should become what? Sadaqah Jariyah for us. And it's only a child that is guided that can be your Sadaqah Jariyah. So it's important that we actually make sure that these devices that they have, we ensure that there are limits with access with limits. Like my son, he knows it. It's 30 minutes per day, and that only happens Friday, Saturdays, and Sundays. There's no unrestricted access. Now that he's over almost 6 years old, So it's learning how to mouse control and how to type appropriately, not that one finger thing. So during the week at times, it has some access to practice all of those things. So bottom line is that these things have to be regimented and regulated if we want the children to make smart choices out of them. And again, we need to understand that at times when the children comes out and say they are bored, it's as if that I'm bored is a trigger for us as parents. And we have to understand that that word should not trigger us. Stop putting yourself in that position where you have to fix your child's boredom. Solitude, long time, have been proven as moments where people get creative, get innovative. Even the example of our Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, it was when he took solitude in Mount of Hira that revelation came to him. So let your children feel okay with being bored. You don't have to fix their boredom. The fact that they're bored does not mean that the next thing you're going to give them is a device, because the child can be sitting right next to you. You can never tell what that child is doing. Let me give you an example. A few weeks ago, I think about 2 weeks or less, my son was going to have his screen time, and he was going to check. He wanted to find out, he was learning about aeroplanes and all. So he was going to type how aeroplanes work. Immediately typed how, I did how do aeroplanes work or something. Maybe he typed how do. The next thing that came, part of the option was, how do you kiss? And he came and said, Mommy, see what came up. I said, oh, I gave him a mug. I said, okay, so if I was not here, what would you have done? He said, I would have moved away and continued typing my how, blah, blah, blah. So you can see where information is empowering. I remember when I just got to Abuja, like 2009, 2010, we're going to have Discovery View program. And part of what we're going to talk about was sexuality education. And I remember there was this brother that went, I don't know the brother till today, but there was like, in quotes, an ally, between us, and went back and forth on why that topic should not be on the display. And I'm like, come on. If our children, we need to understand that information is empowerment. It is empowering. It's not, if you keep on doing shoo, you don't want to tell, your child will still hear about these things, either from friends, like my son, innocently trying to do something legit, and that popped up. If you had not been having conversations about these things, what would have happened? He would have probably, out of curiosity, clicked it. Does that mean that because he didn't click it this one time, he may never click it? I'll be fooling myself if I said yes. And that's why this conversation needs to be ongoing. It needs to be ongoing so that our children can be better informed.
Assalamu alaikum.
So, social media is there to stay.
Sister Suruurah.
The part of this advantage is that it makes our children get fixated on likes, follows, shares, and they struggle to align their online image with their Islamic principles. And then case review is even us as parents. If everything that pops up, whether it is halal or haram, whether it's obscene or not, you're watching it. What example are you modeling to your children? You have to also be careful of what you're modeling as well, because children are good observers, but very poor interpreters. So they may think, Daddy does it now. He's watching these kids now. The woman is not wearing good clothes now, or he's doing transgender. The man is dressing like a woman. That's how subtly these messages, the information are passed on to our children, and right within the four corners of our home, we don't even know that we're enablers. So we need to ensure that we're having those conversations, we're letting them know what our values are, we're ensuring that whatever they do on social media aligns with their values. I mean, my son going almost nude on Instagram was what made me realize that yes, these children have to be guided on what they are going to do. And the place to start is your values. What are your values? Whatever you're doing, is it aligned with your values? Because look, rules are meant to be broken. If I say don't post it, how many do I want to? But if I'm like, okay, what you posted, is it in alignment with your values? So it makes the child to own that conversation. It makes him to seek internal or intrinsic correction and modification. Does that mean that I want to say it once, like I keep saying, children learn from repetition? The lack of direction and purpose. With so many options and distractions, a lot of young people struggle to find sense of purpose or direction. And this often leads them to feelings of aimlessness. And without strong values or goals, they may be susceptible to destructive influences and end up feeling lost. So every one of us is here on a mission. Have you been able to carefully articulate the purpose of your family? Nine Mobile, we have Glow. What else do we have? Each of them have their clear objectives. Even when we look at schools, maybe school will be the easiest example to drive this home. There are probably 1 million schools in your neighborhood. Guess what? Each school has its own vision, mission, core values, and all. So as a family unit, what do you think Allah has created your family unit for? Do you think you're just here for existence? You cannot be. You know, my daughter said something like, I think it's 2 days ago or there about the Lagos, they were talking, and you're like, this is our house. Snail will come, cats will come, and chicken will come. Okay, she was telling me how when she opened the gate and the chicken came inside, because our driver usually, when he opened the gate for chicken, anytime he opens the gate, he draws grains down. And so the chickens, the birds, they will all come and eat. We're like, that when she opened the gate, she just saw all of them going. I think they've just mastered opening of our gate to feeding them and all. And I said, look, this is actually a privilege. So this, in quotes, animals that are in our compound, they probably know that, oh, there's something about Islamic in this environment, and that's why they're attracted, you know. So what is the direction and purpose of your family? You need to carefully articulate it. Don't just assume. Assumption is the lowest form of intelligence. When you assume, you have failed your children. Shouldn't they know? Don't they see me? It's only they are saying, oh, daddy. Today, they are seeing people in all the nooks and crannies of the world. So it's not only you. Identity and self-discovery is another contender of our children. And today, we have children who are growing up in polarized society. So our young Muslims feel frustrated and alone as, you know, they become torn between contemporary acceptable norms and our Islamic values. And this leads to...
Please round off in 5 minutes, ma'am.
Oh, okay.
Please round off in 5 minutes.
Oh, wow. Okay. If I'm running up in 5 minutes, wow. Okay, so let me just quickly, so we all know what the contenders for our children are, and what is the intervention for us as parents? As parents of Muslim youth, guiding our children through modern day distractions requires a balanced approach of understanding, open communication, and spiritual grounding. And here are some things we can use to encourage them. The first thing is to build a relationship with your child. This cannot be overemphasized. Without a relationship with your child, you cannot achieve your goals. What we call tough love, be abusive towards our children, inflict injury on them, and referring to it as training, will only give an illusion of cooperation, and down the line, the child will rebel, revenge, resent you, or retreat, which means we lose influence. And when you lose, guess who is gaining? The shaitan is gaining, because, hey, we know that Shaitan told one of the things Shaitan wants is to cause disintegration in that unit of society. You know that once the home is not at peace, the society will be down. So what are the ways we can focus on connection, open communication? Your child, when your child wants to talk to you, listen. Even when they do something that is obviously wrong, listen, because your idea of why they did what is wrong may not be all that is to the story. When you take the time to listen and ask why, you'll be humbled. So don't be in a hurry. Anytime there are decisions we make, involve them. Oh, they want to go to school, you want to buy something, even you want to wear your own clothes. Oh, do you think I should wear this or that? Those are subtle ways that you can build connection with your children. And of course, no matter how busy you are, quality time. I live in Abuja, my husband works in Lagos, but guess what? Almost on a daily basis, definitely we talk for over an hour. Then almost at least once a week with all of the children where they are, we must get on a call and have deep and meaningful conversations and catch up with one another. You need to give it time. Then build trust through open communication. So don't be judgmental. When you're judgmental, your children will lie to you. When they lie to you, you cannot influence them. So you need to deploy wisdom. Make your home judgment-free, a safe zone, threat-free. Let them tell you they messed up and come and own that thing that, yes, daddy, I messed up. And they know that that is only a bed, it's not an end. Then set goals, not limits. Let your goals be well-defined, articulate them the same way you do them for your businesses. And then, of course, model faith and values. Like I said, you cannot be the one watching transgender skits. You are not the one that is sharing all the nude pictures. The children should not do otherwise. Children are good observers, but very poor interpreters. So while you are like old enough to probably make a distinction, they may not be able to. One of the things that research has shown online that the brain of children do not fully develop until they're over 20 years. So they are not able to always connect the long-term effects of some of the risky behaviors they do. And that's why for the adolescent, they are very daring, very adventurous. It's their brain. And then, so you need to model, feel more relevant and practical in their lives. Values are to be lived and rules are to be tested. Then build skills. Now, I know some of us here, we can afford to hire this and that. Let your children participate in the running of your home. That way, they are building skills that they will need to function. So that place they are washing, that this they are doing, is not about that. It's for them to be able to build the adversity quotient such that even when they're in jobs that are, in quotes, boring, or they're even doing their own thing, they can steer the course. So you cannot beat skills into a child. You teach it. And when the children err, as they will from time to time, rather than clamming them on them, think about it. What skill is this child lacking? So that if you have the skill, you'll have been able to make a better and more informed decision and focus on building skills, time management, meeting deadlines, goal setting. All of these skills are very, very important. And of course, you need to teach problem solving as well. Don't mean a hurry to always solve your children's problem. They say daddy did it before they know it. You are the one that has rescued them. When you always rescue or bail out your children, you are unknowingly killing them and making them susceptible to peer pressure. They will not be able to retract. Let them be able to say no to you. A child that cannot say no to you cannot say no to his peers outside. So be comfortable with your child saying no. That is them trying to find who they are. And if you're touched or triggered by it, the question to ask is, why are you so triggered by your child telling you no? Isn't that, do you want him to be a yes person, a people pleaser to everybody out there? Then again, encourage a healthy relationship with technology. Like I had said earlier, let there be timing for technology, and that should not be only for the children. When it is time for technology, it affects everyone in the home. Let them also see you putting down you cannot be on your phone 24/7 and be saying that these children are not sleeping. Because guess what? A child that is not sleeping will not be able to wake up for Fajr. Talk less or wake up for Tajud. So all of these things are have an interplay. Then involve them in community. See, in our own time, there were no high fences. You come out in the evening, everybody will play together. But today, all our fences are high. And then when it comes to even programs, well, I remember the time I was in Houston, I want to talk about a solid generation next. So it's not so while the adults are doing their thing, even the grandpas are doing their thing, even the youth are doing their thing. We are losing that. Our children are not meeting with people of like values. So we need to be deliberate. Our mothers have tried, they constituted my of those days. Now our children are getting to that in quote marriageable age. Who are they going to marry? I was speaking with a parent a few weeks ago. She doesn't reside in Nigeria, and she was telling me how her son, well, that son is ready, but the person he brought is a revert and can he come, blah, blah. And I'm like, oh, was there anything about dating plan or what book they can bring home or, all of those? I said, so you have to tread gently. If you have left a vacuum and the child has filled up that vacuum, you have to tread with caution. So we need to ensure that we're building that sense of community. If all of us in this call today can actually collate a data of our children and ensure they have a forum where they can interact, even if it is online, let them have a forum where they can interact, where they can talk about their challenges, their struggles, and then know that, yes, they don't feel alone. They know that, there are other people that have got my back. So that's community intelligence is very important. Then promote mental, emotional, and social well-being.
Assalamu alaikum.
Watch how you respond to the children.
Assalamu alaikum, Sister Suruurah.
Wa alaikum salam wa barakatuh.
Please, time is so that we can take the second speaker.
Sir?
I said the time is up.
Okay.
Please try to conclude so that we can take the second speaker.
Okay,
please.
All right. Thank you. I'll do that in a minute.
Thank you so much.
So in conclusion, I would say we need to learn to transfer value to our children. See, what they wear and the devices they have, all of those things are immaterial. What is most important is what we are building in their mind. And you can imagine, and then when we set goals for them or for our parenting, I want to raise good Muslim. It's too vague. Let us know, okay, so I want my children, maybe the next 1 week, every week they learn a name and attribute of Allah. We discuss it and what are the implications. How can we apply it in our daily living? Or okay, I want my children every day you read 3 pages of a book. At the end of the week, you summarize, and we should pay attention to their mind. We're the ones fueling their lifestyle. We're the one buying the gadgets. We're the one buying the data, and we should be able to do better so that we do not lose them on the altar of technology. And again, lastly, I'd like to say we need to encourage them to encounter Allah. Your child's knowing of Allah cannot only because of your own knowing. They need to have that connection with Allah. So you need to encourage them to build that connection with Allah. And after all said and done, we need to set systems in place, pray for their guidance, and then when things go wrong, as they will sometime, do not be closed mouth about it. A time will come in life of your children where you are not the one that will have influence. You'll be relegated to the fourth floor. The culture, their friends, media will have more influence on them. So when things go south, as they may sometimes, don't keep quiet about it. Set out and look for how to seek help for yourself and for your children. And remember that the change must begin with you. Prepare for eventualities. Remember that time is of essence. In parenting, there's seed time and there's harvest time. So make sure that their seeding time, you're seeding what will build love, what will build compassion, what will build influence at the end of the day. Thank you very much for allowing me. And I hope that one way or the other, we have benefited something from this. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Let me say lastly that we have a parenting community. Feel free to come to the community. We share daily messages, weekly activities. We answer questions and answers. There is nothing that says you should parent alone. Parenting needs a village. Who is your village? Akuli Kolihat, Astaghfirullah, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Jazakumullahu khairan. Thank you so much. We are very sorry we couldn't allow you to fully express yourself. This is a topic you are very passionate about. It's quite obvious. So inshallah, we'll touch on that later. Perhaps we need to get another time to get you on board some other time. A lot of requests. We have, please, let's mute our mic. Those in animal sound, please let's mute our mic. Yeah. Those in animal sound, please mute your mic, please. Yeah, we have had a lot of requests for your slides. Inshallah, we are collecting those email addresses. We'll definitely share our slides with you. We have our next, what we are going to do, we have our next speaker now.